At this very moment, beneath the dazzling lights of the Las Vegas Strip, lies a racetrack unlike any other in the world. The boldest gamble Formula One has ever made. With a 4-story paddock complex resembling an airport terminal, a massive LED roof shaped like the F1 logo and visible from the sky, and cars roaring past the Bellagio fountains at over 200 miles per hour, this stands as one of the most ambitious and spectacular projects ever built on American soil. Yet in a city born from gambling, even victory feels like a risk. Has Formula One truly turned the City of Lights into a desert of speed? Or was this the first time the house didn't fully win? The time has come to dive into the desert's brightest creation, a circuit born from ambition, excess, and the unshakable belief that in Las Vegas, nothing is ever just a game. Formula One's first encounter with Las Vegas began not out of passion, but convenience. In 1981, promoters at Caesar's Palace wanted a world-class event to draw attention to their resort, while Formula One needed a US venue. The solution was improvised, a temporary circuit built in the casino's parking lot, winding through flat asphalt and concrete walls. Drivers hated it. The desert heat was punishing, the layout lifeless, and the view uninspired. Crowds were small, and after just 2 races in 1981 and 1982, Formula One packed up and left the town. The experiment had failed, as Las Vegas simply wasn't built for Formula One. But over time, the sport changed dramatically. By the 2010s, Formula One had become a global entertainment empire. Broadcast deals and the Netflix series Drive to Survive turned drivers into celebrities and races into pop culture events. After acquiring the sport in 2017, Liberty Media's leadership, Greg Maffei and Stefano Domenicali, made expanding in America a top priority. Formula One had conquered Austin and dazzled Miami, but Las Vegas was the missing jewel in the crown, a city defined by entertainment, excess, and global visibility. By 2021, Liberty Media was quietly scouting locations along the Strip, supported by Clark County officials and the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Both sides recognized the immense value of broadcasting the Strip to hundreds of millions of viewers worldwide. Then came a bold decision. Liberty Media wouldn't just host the race, it would take the reins. Through its new subsidiary, Liberty Las Vegas Grand Prix Inc., the company chose to finance, build, and promote the event directly, a first in the sport's modern history. While Clark County and local partners handled infrastructure and logistics, Formula One oversaw the design and operations, giving it a level of control rarely seen in its global calendar. The idea was breathtaking. Race through the neon heart of the city at night. F1 cars would hit over 200 miles per hour past the Bellagio fountains, Caesar's Palace, and the glowing Sphere, turning a tourist boulevard into a 200-mile-per-hour theater of light and sound. Tilke Engineers and Architects, led by Karsten Tilke, took on the design challenge. The result was a 3.8-mile, 17-turn course, one of the fastest on the calendar, blending high-speed straights with tight city corners. It was a daring mix of sport and spectacle, demanding precision, coordination, and a complete rethinking of what a Formula One venue could be. But the hardest part wasn't the design, it was what came next. Turning blueprints into reality meant reshaping one of the most crowded, heavily lit, and unpredictable streets on Earth, without ever letting it stop. The same roads that move taxis and tourists year-round had to transform into a world-class racetrack once a year, without stopping the city that never slows down. For Formula One, it was like trying to build a spaceship in the middle of an airport that never closes. The Strip would have to keep its rhythm, the tourists, the traffic, the chaos, all while becoming something entirely new. As plans turned into deadlines and construction crews prepared to carve a circuit through the desert's neon capital, one thing became clear. This would be the most complex and daring build Formula One had ever attempted. In September 2022, work began on a 39-acre site at Harmon Avenue and Koval Lane, just a short distance from the Las Vegas Strip. What was once an unremarkable parking lot was about to be transformed into Formula One's permanent base in North America. The centerpiece of the entire project was the Paddock Building, a structure so vast it looked more like an airport terminal than a pit complex. Stretching nearly 1,000 feet long and 100 feet wide, it spans over 300,000 square feet of interior space, about the size of 5 football fields laid end to end. It was designed as both a command center and a showpiece, blending the precision of a high-tech factory with the glamour of a 5-star resort. The ground floor is all business, spotless team garages and the main pit lane, where seconds decide glory or defeat. Above, 3 levels of glass and steel open into luxury suites, media studios, and terraces that seem to hang directly over the starting grid. Every floor was shaped around the same idea: clear sight lines for every guest. Balconies and lounges were angled toward the action, while temporary hospitality tents were kept intentionally low to preserve the view. Crowning it all is the Paddock Club rooftop, an open-air lounge with fine dining and 360-degree views of both the Strip and the track. But the most striking feature came last: a 28,000-square-foot LED roof shaped like the Formula One logo and visible from planes landing at Harry Reid International Airport. Samsung Electronics, the display partner, used 10mm LED modules, which contain over 22 million pixels. At night, it burns crimson against the black desert sky, a blazing beacon declaring F1's return to America's entertainment capital. Supporting that colossal screen wasn't easy. It required heavy steel trusses and integrated cable systems engineered to minimize interior supports. Each component was lifted and installed with millimeter-grade precision to withstand desert winds and time. Meeting the deadlines meant pushing construction to its limits. Crews worked almost around the clock, floodlights turning the site into an island of activity against the desert night. By April 2023, barely 5 months after the first steel beams were raised, the building had already topped out. Progress moved like choreography. Welders, concrete teams, and electricians worked side by side in a synchronized dance of precision and speed. While that structure rose from the ground, another team was reconstructing the city itself. Roughly 3 miles of public streets were repaved to meet F1's smoothness and grip standards. Sections of Koval Lane, Sands Avenue, and Las Vegas Boulevard were resurfaced with specialized asphalt blends, precise to the millimeter, capable of withstanding extreme desert heat. Even in a city that never sleeps, there are quieter hours. Crews closed sections of the Strip overnight when pedestrian and vehicle traffic dropped, paving beneath the desert's electric night while the rest of Vegas kept moving. Engineers also remapped power lines, installed drainage systems, and coordinated with hotels to avoid cutting off access to their entrances. By late October 2023, with asphalt cooling and grandstands rising, Las Vegas looked nothing like itself. The city had transformed into a cathedral of speed, and the countdown to race night had begun. When that day arrived, the Strip lit up like never before. Fans filled the stands, celebrities packed the paddock, and 1,000 horsepower engines roared off the glass towers. Some called it the boldest debut in Formula One history. Others called it a gamble too grand to fail. So, did Formula One's $500 million bet on Las Vegas truly pay off? Or was the spectacle brighter than the payoff? Before we continue, just a quick note. If online privacy and security matter to you, I left a NordVPN link below with a great discount. You'll thank me later. Liberty Media had invested about $535 million in today's dollars to create a venue that would anchor Formula One's American expansion for decades. It was a rare, self-funded venture, one where Formula One took on the role of both builder and promoter. The results were immediate. The inaugural weekend brought in roughly $1.6 billion in total economic impact for Clark County, generating $82 million in tax revenue, with over $23 million supporting local schools. Hotels sold out. VIP packages reached 5 figures, and international media compared the event's scale to the Super Bowl.
We are a Super Bowl at every event. We take this Super Bowl-like event throughout the entire world, throughout our calendar.
All from a single weekend of racing. By 2024, the figures normalized but stayed impressive. Nearly $1 billion in economic activity, 4,500 jobs supported, and close to $50 million in new tax revenue. For a city built on tourism, that's an engine worth keeping. Today, the Grand Prix Plaza stays open year-round, hosting exhibitions, fan events, and driving experiences that keep the site alive long after the checkered flag. Not everyone was convinced. Local businesses complained of street closures and lost foot traffic, while economists warned that headline figures reflected gross spending, not net gain. Still, public enthusiasm and international visibility kept the momentum going. Negotiations are already underway to extend the race contract beyond its initial term. For Liberty Media and Formula One, the gamble has paid off. The Las Vegas Grand Prix boosted revenue, attracted new sponsors, and helped cement F1's identity in the American market. And as the lights of the Strip reflect off those silver cars each November night, one thing becomes clear. Formula One didn't just come back to Las Vegas, it finally found a home there. But as new cities line up to host their own Grand Prix, one question remains. Can any of them outshine the spectacle born in the desert? Ready to be amazed by the next groundbreaking construction project? Click on the video now and dive into a world where engineering and imagination collide. See you there.